Hey everyone. Hey guys, it's K2K Connections here. Welcome back to our channel. It is another Wednesday and we are excited to bring you another discussion. So last week we forgot to introduce ourselves. So my name is Kiana Ray and I am one of the co-founders of Double Links. I am a personal and spiritual life coach with a niche in sort of bringing yoga and meditation into mind therapy. And I am Kiana Ray. I'm also one of the co-founders of Double Links, and I am a personal and spiritual life coach as well. I am working on building resiliency into my practice and helping those who experience trauma. Yeah, so today we just wanted to have a discussion about what it means to transition and how to find balance in transitioning from a life that you are currently in to a new life where you know it's going to be more aligned with who you are and your purpose. Exactly. I know last week we had a video focused on wigs, which we still have on today. We talked about the internal happiness versus external happiness and what that means. So today, to kind of, make that similar alignment in terms of transitioning, think about in the natural hair process where you're moving from the transitioning phase to the big chop. And kind of looking at the two benefits of the two journeys. Yes, so there are some people out there that are ready for that big chop. And what we mean by that is, for those of you who don't understand the natural hair journey, when Black women want to flow out their natural hair, they can either do the big chop where they cut off all their dead ends and perm hair, or they can just transition from the hair on their head back into the natural process. So with that, we're saying the big chop, some people are ready for that big chop. Some people are just ready to just cut ties with their old lives, cut ties with their old dead ends and perm hair, and just start all over again. Right, yeah. But then there's some people who, the sun is beautiful today, but it's blocking, woo, it's like radiant. But there's some people who are not ready for that big chop and just transitioning. Exactly, yeah. So I guess our thing is we're talking to those people who, again, are fearful about the big chop. And we are going to discuss how to create a balanced life as you are transitioning, meaning how do you create balance between when you're trying to move into the life that you want for yourself. So, yeah, so we'll give a little bit of personal examples. I mean, right now, we are nurses. I am an ICU traveling nurse, and so yeah, right now my week consists of doing 3 12-hour shifts and being a nurse. But for myself, I know that I am more aligned with becoming a yoga and meditation instructor, as well as building this business as a life coach, building Double Links, my life coaching, transformational life coaching business. So how do I create balance in my own life? How do I make sure that I know that plan B is going to be good for me, as well as being focused on my nursing career or my nursing job when I go to work? Exactly. And we're both in a similar journey. God, this thing is just like, yes, today. Anyway, so I'm an ER nurse, and of course, I'm trying to transition into having my life coaching practice as my full-time career. And so how do I maintain that balance? Meaning, how do I keep the end goal of knowing that I'm going to become a life coach and that I'm going to be working with trauma victims while I'm going to work 36 hours a week in the ER. Yeah. And still being present with my patients in the emergency room. Yeah, so I guess the two big things that kind of work for us is, number one, just being present in the moment. We call that being mindful. So with anyone out there that's transitioning, you are at a place where you have your job, you have your relationship, you have everything happening in your life right now that's really not aligned to what you know is supposed to be your life. So I guess the biggest message is just to be mindful of where you are, and making sure that you are participating in the day-to-day activities and not just blocking yourself off just because you know that plan B needs to happen or is going to start happening. Right. I think a good example of that is, when you're in a relationship, let's say that you're in a relationship now with someone that you know doesn't align to your core values, and you eventually want to move out of that relationship to be with someone that you know you have a lot more in common with. So in order to use that mindfulness practice, we mean just being present right now in your relationship. So taking all of the learning opportunities that you can gain while you are in that relationship, but being present means don't focus on the end goal. So it means like you're really living in the moment. Because when you focus on the end goal and you're like, okay, I'm going to get out of this relationship, you lose the learning experience. If that makes sense. Yeah, totally. So yeah, being mindful about where you are and taking advantage of those learning opportunities right now that's happening in your life. And that's, sometimes I know that's easier said than done, because even when I'm at work, talking to my patients or helping my ventilated patients, I always have this mindset like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be doing this for too long. And it's okay to have those thoughts, but just making sure that I am taking care of my patients the best way that I know how, and not just being sloppy. And not just like doing the work just to get through the day. So I guess that's what we mean by not focusing on the end goal so much, just being right there. Right. And I wanted to mention something about being mindful again, because what I realized is that even as I go to my work as a nurse in the ER, when I am going in at 7:00 p.m. and I have a focus of, okay, I have 12 hours to be here, I am going to take every opportunity to learn what it means to get along with the patient that I have nothing in common with, to learn how to control my emotions while I am managing 3 patients at one time. So again, just really embracing those learning opportunities. Yeah. So what else can you do to stay balanced? I think another thing for us is making sure that plan B is aligned to who you are and what you hope to see in the future. I really had to do some personal development and intuitive work to know that I am meant to be a yoga and meditation instructor, and I am meant to be a life coach. Mm-hmm. So my plan B aligns with who I am, right, as an individual. Is what my mind, is what my body, and is what my spirit knows is meant for me. So plan B is aligned with who I am. Right. Yeah, and for me, I'm an emergency room nurse, and one thing that I really enjoy about my line of work is just being in the most intimate setting with those trauma victims, those people who experience some of the most heartbreaking, heart-wrenching, emotionally damaging experiences. And I love being in that environment. And so I realized after going through some personal development myself, that I enjoy trauma work and building resiliency with my clients. And so that is my plan B to help me transition out of nursing, is to make sure that I keep that ER trauma mentality focus, yet it aligns with who I am as a life coach. Yes. And that's so important, because if you don't know your purpose in life, you lose a sense of, you will start to be confused and lost and kind of depressed in terms of like, where's my next step? Yeah, and I'm so glad we mentioned that, because burnout, if you're burnt out with your relationships, with your career, with your finances, with how you are raising your kids right now, if you're burnt out with your lifestyle right now, if you're trying to choose a plan B that's just going to make you more miserable in the end, like I can imagine somebody that's working at in the CEO world, you know, office job, high intensity management, having to manage a bunch of people, a hectic schedule. If you're trying to choose another job that is long work hours, no free time for yourself, it's a financial struggle to get there, you just have to make sure that plan B is aligned with who you are. Because if you're just choosing that plan B just for the money and the fame, and because it's a quick and easy fix, which no job is, no career is, no passion, purpose, yes, lifestyle is. But if you're choosing that plan B for that, then you're going to get burnt out again. Yeah. And I think, you know, I want to talk to those people who do like the total like big chops constantly, meaning like, okay, so you know you're not supposed to be working at McDonald's right now, so you end up quitting McDonald's and then selling tires. I don't know. And then you're like, okay, this is not what I'm supposed to do. I'm gonna do the big chop again. I'm gonna do hair now. All right, this is not what I'm supposed to do. I'm gonna do the big chop again. I'm going to start my own consulting practice. So having those multiple opportunities, or let's say trying to get yourself into multiple opportunities, is not healthy when it comes to knowing where to put your focus at. Because once you figure out, and this is what I'm saying, when you're in your place of work, when you're at McDonald's, take that time to personally develop yourself, so you can know when you make that big chop, you are heading in your purposeful driven direction. So that way you're not so lost in terms of like, what's my next step? Yes. So in the end, you know, we talk about the two groups of people, the people that can do the big chop and just move forward with their lives, and the people that can transition slowly. Both of those have a fear factor. Mm-hmm. Fear is not just with one group or the other. Yeah. If you're doing a big chop consistently all the time, then you're fearful of what the future is bringing. Mm-hmm. Or if you're transitioning in a very slow manner or very fast manner without balance, then there's fear there. There's fear of what's going to happen for you in the future, what's happening to you right now. So the best way that we are trying to say to get over that fear and to make sure that that fear doesn't overcome your life is to keep in balance. Yeah. And to make sure that you are being present with where you are, yes, being mindful of the opportunities that your current life provides, mm-hmm, and to making sure that plan B is aligned with who you are. Exactly, guys. It's simple, yes, but also complex, and we understand that. But I think that is all that we have for you right now. Yeah. And you know, I do want to say that I am giving away the Plan B at the end of this to any lady out there who had some unprotected intercourse and would like to, you know, really have the Plan B with them. I'm really going to give that away. So yeah, if you need that Plan B, make sure you contact her. Kimiana Ray, you can find her on Instagram or Messenger. So yeah, we're going to give away that Plan B to someone that needs it. But yeah, guys, I guess that's all that we really have for you. Thank you for tuning in again.
Yes.
And we're going to be doing this again next Wednesday. Make sure you're staying in tune, making sure you follow our Instagram, Facebook, YouTube pages.
All of that.
The sun is setting, so
It
it's
is.
trying to tell us that we need to hurry up.
Yeah, really.
But love you guys.
Love you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Peace and love.